Hello and welcome back to Make Do. David here, and in this video we're going to be making our most iconic build yet, the Pokéball from Pokemon. We've been fans of Pokemon since it first came to the US way back in 1998, and ever since then, who hasn't wanted their own Pokéball? Yes, there are thousands of print files available already, but it would be way cooler to design and model our own, and I need the practice. It took a few versions to get this right. The core of my entire design was centered around finding the smallest, most compact hinge. I settled on these tiny hidden barrel hinges. They are small, brass, and surprisingly sturdy. With the hinge sorted out, I needed to ensure I had the correct spacing and sizing for the hinge to actually open. After a few mock-ups and tests, I was able to find a design that worked perfectly. So I jumped onto Fusion 360 and fleshed out the rest of the design. I wanted to create something that felt realistic and somewhat scientific. You know, something that could shrink a Pokemon down to fit inside.
Actually, they confirmed that Pokemon can just shrink. Like, all of them. They can just do that.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, we still wanted to create something that looks like it would fit into the real world. So after looking at a ton of reference and making a few prototypes, we finalized our design. The design consists of the outer shells, which will be printed separately for easy painting later, sitting on the inner cages. These cages also contain our hinge mounts and make up the whole structure of the Pokeball. The inner cage will also hold these additional fin details as well as this small emitter disc. As I mentioned, we ended up printing a few versions of this and tweaking some sizing to make sure everything fits together. These are resin prints, but you can never avoid sanding. Oh, and I broke this part, so I'm just going to glue this back together with some CA glue before sanding everything down. Our prints are covered in these little pips because I might have gone overboard with my supports, so I need to sand all of this down and ensure everything is as smooth as possible. We're basically making a set of nesting spheres, so the smoother the better. These sanding sponges are fantastic for sanding spherical objects because they conform to the shape of the print better than some more rigid sanding options. We'll have links to these sanding sponges as well as all the supplies for the project in the description below. These are affiliate links, so if you end up making a purchase, we will get a small kickback that will help support the channel and our future projects. Thanks in advance. Sanding noises. I make sure my parts are fitting as I continue to sand everything down. With everything sanded, I can get to painting, starting of course with a coat of filler primer. It's a bit overkill, but it will give a good surface for the paint. Off camera, I gave everything a quick pass with some steel wool after the primer had dried. To make things easy to handle in the spray booth, I'm going to be attaching some parts to a few wooden skewers with hot glue. We should be able to remove the hot glue with rubbing alcohol after painting. First up, we have the inner cages, which we will be painting with a flat black. The fins will be painted in this metallic bronze paint, and these small emitter discs will get a coat of Testors metallic emerald, and of course red and white for the outer shells.
Shout out to our patrons for helping us pick the right color for the fins.
Okay, so from what I've seen and heard online, you can remove hot glue with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, so hopefully this works. Oh wow, that actually worked. So the inside of the outer shells will show through the gaps in the inner cages. Bear with me. Based on most of the artwork we found, the inside of the Pokeball is filled with mirrors. To achieve this, we're going to be using Vallejo's metallic silver paint. It takes a few coats, but the effect is well worth it. To start off assembly, we are going to glue the button to the inner cage. I designed a little notch to add a bit more structure for the glue to hold onto and to help with registration. We'll be using 2-part epoxy to hold everything in place. This button also has a small hole to receive a magnet. And there's another recess on the opposite inner cage for the other magnet. We'll have links for the exact magnets we're using here in the description. The inner cage should then fit nicely into the outer shell. And yes, we are going with the button on the bottom, as seen on the back of the Pokemon cards. The fin and the emitter disc should snap together nicely, and you'll see the back of the emitter has a small square hole that should align with the outer shell. This should help secure everything together and make sure all the parts are seated properly. Before snapping everything together, I coat the outer shell with some more epoxy. This should be plenty to hold everything into place. Then I can drop everything in, making sure the parts snap together. Now before we get any further, we want to protect all of our beautiful work, so I give both halves a coat of gloss clear coat, which has the added benefit of making all the colors really pop. Now I just need to insert the hinge and we are done. The hinges have small indents on either side, so I added small registration marks to the model that should help make alignment foolproof. It is important to keep our 5-minute epoxy from getting into the moving parts of the hinge and gluing it together. So after mixing it up, I'm going to let it sit for just about 5 minutes, meaning once we use it, it's going to be tackier and less likely to flow into the small moving parts. I carefully apply our semi-cured epoxy to the hinge and drop it into place, cleaning up any squeeze out. I let the white half cure completely, then repeat the process to the other side, resisting the urge to close it. I'm just gonna leave this here for about an hour just to be safe. I have wanted this thing since I was 10 years old, and it's amazing. It is such a simple design, but it's so iconic. But of course, I wasn't happy with it. I ended up remaking the whole thing to address one small issue. The outer and inner shells were not nesting well, causing this weird pill shape that was just so distracting to me, so I just made a new one. It was a lot of fun to work through designing the interior of this Pokeball and to continue to learn some modeling techniques to bring this project to life. I encourage anyone who is looking to get into 3D modeling to pick a project and just go for it. You'll be surprised how much you can achieve. If you want to make your own Pokéball, we'll have these files available for purchase on our website make432.com, along with some of our other past projects. These files will also be available for free to our Crystal Tier members for a limited time. If you're interested in becoming a patron, we have 3 appropriately named tiers with various benefits. Each tier does get you access to our Discord server where we offer behind the scenes sneak peeks as well as patron only projects. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.